most of us, UFOs are just something on a late-night documentary or a blurry video you scroll past on your phone. But every now and then, someone sees something in the sky they can't explain. No sound, no wings, no trail, just lights that move wrong, and a gut feeling that whatever you're looking at is looking back. Tonight, we're diving into 13 UFO encounters, shared by Reddit users who swear they saw something they still can't rationalize away. These aren't polished alien abduction stories. These are quick posts from people who are driving home from work, smoking on the porch, or staring out a bedroom window, and then watch the sky do something it should not do. You'll hear about silent craft hovering over neighborhoods, lights that outran military jets, objects that vanished and reappeared miles away in an instant, and patterns that suggest intelligence instead of coincidence. Some of these sightings might be drones, planes, or tricks of perspective, but some of them feel like something else entirely. So turn down the lights, look up, figuratively, not literally, and remind yourself, if even one of these is real, we're not alone. This is 13 Reddit UFO sightings. Let's begin. Story number 1 from user Midnight Static. I just saw something insane over Roswell, New Mexico.
I just witnessed something that's gonna have me questioning reality for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I know Roswell. Cue the eye rolls. But hear me out. I was outside tonight around 9:15 p.m., just letting the dogs do their business in the backyard here in Roswell, New Mexico. The sky was that deep, inky desert black, and the stars were out in force. Beautiful, right? Wrong. Suddenly this light appears in the northern sky. It wasn't blinking like a plane, and it was way too bright to be a star. It was a pure, almost blinding white light, and it was moving in a way that no aircraft I have ever seen could. It started moving slowly, then it would dart sideways, stop on a dime, and then shoot upwards at an impossible speed. It did this a few times, these crazy, sharp maneuvers, all in complete silence. There was absolutely no sound. Then, as it got closer, and I mean really close, like maybe a few thousand feet overhead, I could make out a shape. It was kind of disc-shaped, but with these glowing amber lights underneath. They weren't steady, they seemed to pulse and shift. I was frozen, just staring up at it. My dogs were going nuts, barking and whining, which they never do at planes. This thing hovered directly above my house for maybe 30 seconds, and I swear I could feel this weird buzzing sensation, almost like static electricity in the air. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it shot off to the west at an unbelievable speed and disappeared over the horizon in a matter of seconds. No sonic boom, no engine noise, just gone. My hands are still shaking typing this. I know. It's Roswell, of course you saw something. But I've lived here for 5 years, and I've never seen anything remotely like this. This wasn't some tourist trap light show, this was something else. Did anyone else in the Roswell area see anything like this tonight? Am I officially part of the Roswell lore now? What the actual heck was that? TLDR. Saw a bright white light performing impossible maneuvers, and then a disc-shaped object with amber lights hover silently over my house in Roswell, New Mexico, before speeding off.
Story number 2 from user Basement Rust. I think I met an EBE in my backyard, and it wasn't what I expected.
Look, I'm not saying I believe in little green men. I've made my fair share of jokes about tinfoil hats and trailer park abductions, but something happened last night that I can't explain, and I need to write it down before I start convincing myself it was just a dream. I live in rural Pennsylvania, miles from the nearest gas station, let alone a neighbor. My backyard runs into dense woods, and most nights are dead quiet. Around 2:30 a.m., my dog, a fat old lab who doesn't bark at anything, went ballistic. Low growls, hackles raised, pacing near the sliding glass door like something was out there. I figured coyote, grabbed a flashlight, and stepped outside. The light was weird, like not moonlight, not the yellow-orange glow from town, just a pale, bluish haze like someone left a TV on in the sky. That's when I saw it, floating maybe 30 feet above my backyard. A perfect black oval, like someone cut a hole in the sky. No sound, no blinking lights, just there. My flashlight cut off when I pointed it at the thing, just blinked out like the batteries died. Dog whined and bolted back inside, and then it landed. No whirring, no descending. 1 second it was hovering, next it was there, sitting like a dropped pebble on the grass. A door slid open, not opened, slid, like the air parted, and something stepped out. It wasn't what I expected. Not tall, not gray, no bug eyes. Looked maybe human, sort of. Pale skin, thin like a starving monk. Black eyes that weren't hostile but weren't exactly friendly either. Just curious and sad somehow. Like it had been watching us long enough to realize we're doomed. It didn't speak. It showed me things. I don't know how. I wasn't dreaming, but my brain felt like it was in REM. My backyard dissolved. I saw scorched earth, empty ocean, city swallowed by vines, and then nothing. Just a black horizon. I felt panic. Existential panic. Like the future was already written, and I was just late to the funeral. The thing looked at me, tilted its head. Then, without a sound, it stepped backward into the craft. The doorway closed. The ship lifted, like gravity was a suggestion, and it was gone. The grass where it landed is still scorched. A perfect circle. No burns, no noise complaints, no black SUVs, just silence, and a feeling that won't leave, like something's counting down. Edit. Yes, I saved the dead patch of grass. No, I'm not calling MUFON. I don't need men in sunglasses telling me I hallucinated while my flashlight still doesn't work.
Story number 3, from user I Saw It Too. My dad took me to see a UFO when I was 10. I think something came back with us.
I've never told this story online before, mostly because I thought it would sound crazy. Still do. But Reddit's the place for crazy, right? When I was 10, my dad woke me up in the middle of the night, just shook my shoulder and said, "Come on, I want to show you something." No explanation, just that eerie look parents get when they're too calm. We drove out to this field about 15 minutes from our house in upstate New York. Cornfield on one side, thick woods on the other. We parked and just sat on the hood of the truck, staring up. At first, I didn't see anything. Then I noticed 3 lights, perfect triangle, hovering in total silence. No blinking, no movement, just hanging there like the sky had grown eyes. Dad whispered, "It's back." I remember thinking back like this wasn't a one-time thing. Then it started to move, fast. I don't mean like a plane banking or a helicopter shifting. I mean instantaneous. 1 second it was overhead, next it was across the field, then behind us. It was like someone editing reality with jump cuts. Then it just vanished. We didn't talk on the drive home. I think I was too stunned to ask anything. He tucked me in and said, "Don't tell your mom. She'll say I'm off my meds again." Cool. But here's the thing. Ever since that night, weird stuff started happening. Lights flickering in our house, even when there wasn't a storm. My dog refused to go into my room, growled at corners. I'd wake up with my bed sheets soaked in sweat, convinced someone had been watching me, but the door would be locked from the inside. One night, I saw my dad standing in the hallway outside my room, except when I got up to ask what he was doing, he wasn't there. He wasn't even home. He'd gone out drinking with a friend. It happened more than once. I started calling it the copy, the version of my dad that showed up at night, always quiet, always staring. When I finally told my real dad years later, he just said, "Sometimes they follow you back. Doesn't mean they mean harm. Doesn't mean they don't either." He died last year. At the funeral, I swear I saw someone standing way back by the tree line. Same height, same build. Watching. Didn't come in, didn't speak. I don't think they ever left. Edit. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I'd love to think I hallucinated the whole thing. But the handprint on my window last night had 3 fingers, and I live alone.
Story number 4 from user Fluorescent Grim. Something just flew over Sedona that wasn't a plane.
All right, I need to share this with someone because I'm starting to think I'm losing it. I'm visiting Sedona, Arizona, known for its vortexes and all that, and I just saw something that I can't explain. I was out on a hike tonight, around 10 p.m. MST, trying to get some good stargazing in. The sky here is usually incredible, crystal clear and full of stars. But tonight, it was more than just stars. I was looking up, taking it all in, when I saw this dark shape moving across the sky. It wasn't flashing any lights, and it was moving way too fast and smoothly to be a plane or helicopter. It was completely silent. The shape was kind of like a boomerang, but thicker in the middle. It was hard to make out details in the dark, but it looked huge, maybe the size of a bus. It moved from one side of the sky to the other in maybe 10 seconds, just gliding silently. I tried to take a picture with my phone, but all I got was a blurry black blob. It was moving too fast, and it was too dark. I watched it disappear behind one of the red rock formations, and then it was gone. I'm trying to be rational. Maybe it was some kind of experimental aircraft, but the silence and the speed, it just didn't seem like anything normal. And being in Sedona, with all the talk about vortexes and energy fields, it's hard not to wonder if it was something else. Has anyone else seen anything strange in the Sedona area? Am I just imagining things? Or is there something weird going on here? I need some input before I completely freak out. TLDR. Saw a huge, silent, boomerang-shaped object fly across the sky near Sedona, Arizona, moving incredibly fast and silently, freaking out a little. Anyone else in the Sedona area, or anywhere else, had a similar experience? Let me know. I need to know I'm not totally nuts.
Story number 5 from user Backdoor Knocks. I think I might have seen something else, like a being.
This is way harder to type out than the light I saw last week. I live in a pretty normal suburban neighborhood in Boise, Idaho. Nothing particularly weird ever happens here. until tonight. Around 11:30 p.m., I couldn't sleep, so I was just looking out my bedroom window at the backyard. We have a pretty big yard with a decent amount of trees along the back fence. It was a clear night, and the neighbor's porch light was casting some shadows. That's when I saw it. Or him? Standing near the edge of the woods, partially obscured by a tree trunk, was a figure. It was tall, maybe 6 to 7 feet, and very slender. The head was disproportionately large and sort of pear-shaped. I couldn't make out any distinct facial features in the dim light, but the head seemed to reflect the porch light in a strange way, almost like it was smooth and pale. It was wearing something that looked like a dark one-piece suit, no visible seams or details. Its arms were long and thin, and I thought I saw 3 or 4 long, delicate fingers on the hands. It was just standing there, completely still, looking towards my house. I froze, my heart hammering in my chest. I thought maybe it was a neighbor playing a prank, but who would do that at 11:30 at night, standing silently at the edge of my yard? And the proportions were just off. I ducked down below the windowsill for a few seconds, terrified. When I peeked back up, it was gone. Just gone. No sound, no movement, just an empty patch of shadow where it had been standing. I ran downstairs and checked all the doors and windows. Everything was locked. My dog, who usually barks at a squirrel in the next county, was sound asleep. I know how insane this sounds. A silent, tall, pale figure with a big head in my backyard? It sounds like something out of a bad sci-fi movie. But I swear on everything I love, I saw something. Something that wasn't human. Has anyone in the Boise area reported anything like this? Am I losing my grip on reality? I need to know if anyone else has experienced anything similar. I'm beyond freaked out. TLDR, saw a tall, slender figure with a large, pear-shaped head and dark suit standing silently at the edge of my yard in Boise. It disappeared without a sound. Terrified.
Story number 6. From user Whistles in the Dark. I saw something fall from the sky, and it was still breathing.
This happened 2 weeks ago, and I haven't slept properly since. I don't know what I saw. I don't know if I saw it. But something's wrong out there. I need to get this out of my head before it eats through my skull. I live in Nevada, a few hours from the outskirts of Area 51. Before you roll your eyes, yeah, I know how it sounds. I've lived here my whole life, and I've never seen anything weird. No little green men, no government goons, no desert lights. Until now, I was hiking alone near an old mining trail I know by heart. Around 6:30 p.m., just before sunset, the air suddenly turned silent. I don't mean quiet. I mean no birds, no wind, no bugs, like the whole desert held its breath. Then I heard it, a low pulsing hum, not mechanical, not natural. It felt like it was inside my head more than in my ears. I looked up and saw something falling, fast. No flames, no tail, no smoke, just a black, angular shape plummeting at a sharp angle and slamming into the ridge about 300 yards away. I ran toward it. I don't know why. Maybe instinct, maybe stupidity. When I got to the ridge, I saw the crater, fresh, steaming, and in the center something was moving. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a pod. It was alive. It looked like someone tried to fold a human being the wrong way. Its limbs were too long, joints bent the wrong direction, skin like wet paper. No eyes, but it turned toward me like it felt me there. Then it stood up. I froze. My brain stopped working. Every cell screamed run, but my legs betrayed me. It didn't walk. It twitched forward, like it glitched frame by frame. There was this sound, like a voice trying to mimic speech through a broken speaker. Ei, you are not supposed. I finally bolted. Didn't look back. Ran until I puked. I didn't even go home. I drove straight to my cousin's place an hour away and crashed on his couch, babbling something about a coyote. I went back the next morning. Nothing there. No crater, no burn marks, no prints. Like the desert swallowed it whole, except for a smear of something black on a rock. It looked like oil, but it moved when I touched it. It crawled up my finger like it was alive. I burned the glove I was wearing. I haven't gone hiking since, and last night I woke up at 3:14 a.m. exactly, same time I saw the thing fall. Every night since then, always the same dream, that thing standing at the foot of my bed twitching closer. I don't think it stayed in the crater. I think it's looking for me.
Story number 7 from user Blackbox404. I got an email with leaked UFO footage, and it changed while I was watching it.
I work freelance IT and do occasional cybersecurity gigs, so getting weird emails isn't exactly rare. Russian bots, phishing scams, people trying to sell me NFTs that look like cursed Garfield. But this one's still in my inbox and I haven't opened my laptop since. It came from a scrambled domain, just random characters like someone face-planted their keyboard. Subject line was, RE, footage you requested, do not share. Which is already a hell of a hook since I hadn't requested anything. There was no message body, just a single .mp4 file attached, named VTS_intercept, _17B, _clean_cut, _final fixed.mov. You know, something a normal person would totally click on. I ran it through a sandbox first. No malware, no trackers, no embedded metadata. Just a video. It starts with grainy black and white footage. Timestamp, August 4th, 2003. Altitude reads 30,000 feet. It's clearly shot from a military-grade FLIR camera, like one mounted on a fighter jet. You hear comm chatter, mostly static, but you can make out things like target is maintaining speed, no heat sig, and not matching known profiles. Then the object comes into frame. It's hard to describe. At first it looks like a sphere, then it shifts, like it's made of liquid chrome. No wings, no exhaust, just there, rotating slightly and casting a shadow that doesn't match its shape. The pilot says it's reflecting me? I swear to God, you hear the other guy say, it's looking back. Then the video glitches. Not a normal digital skip. This was wrong. The object jumps closer, frame by frame. Each skip, it's nearer to the jet until the screen just fills with static. And then the video changes mid-playback. Like I didn't stop it, it just switched. Now it's showing me my house from above, then my backyard, then me on my couch. I watched myself lean forward toward the screen, mouth hanging open. The timestamp now read, feed 404. I slammed the lid shut. Since then, I've tried sending the file to friends. It won't attach. I uploaded it to a cloud drive, and it corrupted instantly. Even tried recording it with my phone. Screen just turns black. No one else can open the email. I've had 3 people sit at my desk and try. The message literally vanishes when they log in, but the file is always there for me. Just waiting. This morning I got a new message from the same address. Subject line, you saw too much. No attachment, just a single line of text. Now we're watching you. I covered my webcam, turned off my phone, even yanked the power cable from the wall. But the monitor turned back on anyway. Static and something moving in it. I don't think it's done with me. Edit. If this account goes dark, don't open any weird files with my name on them, especially if the timestamp says live.
Story number 8 from user Abandon Ranger. I picked the wrong exit and something was waiting for me.
This happened 3 nights ago. I drive a delivery route through Central Oregon, mostly overnight. It's long, lonely, and boring as hell. Until recently, I would have told you the creepiest thing on the road was roadkill with too many legs or meth heads lurking near gas stations. But now I'm not so sure I was alone out there. I was on Route 26, heading east. Around 3:10 a.m., I missed my usual turnoff. Exit 13. No big deal. I figured I'd loop around the next exit. Only there wasn't a next exit. Not for a while. Like, too long. The road stretched on in dead silence. No traffic, no signs, just darkness pressing in from all sides. Then I noticed my radio flickering. No signal, just static. My GPS rerouted and then glitched out, map rotating endlessly. That's when the headlights appeared behind me. I thought maybe another truck was catching up, but no, these were wrong. Too far apart, pure white, no beam spread. Just 2 glowing orbs that hovered above the road, closing the distance silently. No engine noise, no tire hum. I sped up. The lights matched my speed. I slowed down. So did they. I turned off the highway onto a gravel access road I swear didn't exist a moment ago. The lights followed me into the woods. Then they vanished. That would have been creepy enough. But about 30 yards ahead, I saw a figure in the road. Not walking, floating, like a marionette being lowered into place. Lanky limbs, translucent grayish skin, oversized head. Classic alien stuff, sure, but what froze my blood was its mouth. It stretched too wide, like a slit opening across its jaw line, and I heard it speak, but not out loud. You weren't supposed to see this. My vision went white, no pain, no fear, just a clean break, like blinking, and suddenly you're somewhere else. Next thing I remember, I'm parked on the side of the actual exit 13 ramp, engine still running. Clock says 3:10 a.m. again, but my dash cam was fried, GPS reset, and there was dirt and pine needles inside my cab. The windows were up the whole time. I haven't driven that route since. When I went to check the gravel road on satellite view, it's not there. And here's the kicker. Every morning since, my phone alarm goes off at exactly 3:10 a.m. I didn't set it. I turned it off. Deleted it. Factory reset the whole damn phone. Still happens. Same time, same tone. And every time it rings, I see those lights again. In the rearview mirror.
Story number 9. From user Unemployed Ninja. I woke up to something in my room. I don't know what it was, but I can't sleep now.
This happened last night, and I haven't been able to close my eyes since. I live alone in a second-floor apartment in State College, Pennsylvania. I usually sleep pretty soundly. Around 3:17 a.m., I checked my phone after. I woke up suddenly. Not from a noise, just awake. My room was dark. The only light filtering in was from the street lamp outside my window, casting long shadows. I had this overwhelming feeling of being watched, like that primal instinct that tells you something isn't right. I scanned the room, but everything looked normal, just my usual messy bedroom. Then I saw it. Standing in the corner near my closet was a figure. It was tall and thin, silhouetted against the slightly lighter wall. It was hard to make out details, but it seemed to have a large head, and its limbs looked elongated and spindly. It was completely still, just facing me. I couldn't see its eyes, but I could feel its gaze. It was the most intense, unsettling feeling I've ever experienced, like I was being studied, analyzed. I tried to scream, but no sound would come out. My body felt heavy, like I was paralyzed. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. Then, a soft, high-pitched humming started. It seemed to vibrate in the air, and I felt it in my chest. The figure didn't move, but the humming grew slightly louder. I squeezed my eyes shut, willing it to go away. I kept telling myself it was a dream, sleep paralysis, anything but what my gut was screaming at me. After what felt like an eternity, it was probably only a minute or two, The humming stopped. I slowly opened my eyes. The figure was gone. The room was silent again, the shadows still stretching from the street lamp. Everything looked normal, but the feeling of dread and being watched, it lingered. I threw the covers off and turned on all the lights. I checked every corner of my apartment. Nothing. No sign of forced entry. Nothing out of place. I haven't been able to stop shaking. What was that? Was it a dream? Sleep paralysis? It felt so real, so terrifyingly present. The humming, I can still almost hear it. I don't know what I saw, but I know I won't ever look at my bedroom the same way again. I'm terrified to go back to sleep. Has anyone ever experienced anything like this? Waking up to a silent figure in your room? Please tell me I'm not completely losing it. TLR. Woke up in the middle of the night to a tall, thin figure with a large head standing silently in the corner of my bedroom. Felt intensely watched and heard a high-pitched humming before it vanished.
Story number 11 from user Daylight Denial. Saw something land behind the gas station in broad daylight and no one believes me.
I used to think UFO sightings only happened at night. You know, all the classic stuff. Stars that move weird, lights in the sky, shadowy figures at 3 a.m. That's what I told myself anyway. Because what I saw last Thursday, it was 2:17 p.m., middle of the damn afternoon. Blue skies, 72 degrees, birds chirping, normal. I was sitting in my car in the parking lot of a gas station outside of town, drinking a Sprite and scrolling Reddit before heading to my next client. I'm a pest control tech, so I basically live out of my car. I wasn't even thinking about anything weird, just doom scrolling and burning time. Then I noticed something overhead. Not noticed, really. More like felt. The light changed. Everything went pale. Not darker, just flat. Like someone turned the contrast down on reality. Shadows vanished. The breeze stopped. The birds, silent. I looked up and there it was. A disc. Not cliche, not shiny, matte gray, like the color of wet cement, easily the size of a small building. No windows, no markings, just hovering, silently maybe 150 feet above the gas station. Dead still. And then, this is the part that makes me sound insane, it just dropped. No descent, no acceleration. 1 second it was there, next it was behind the gas station without sound. I didn't see it land. It just blinked. I got out of my car. So did this guy pumping gas across from me. We locked eyes like, did you see that? But then his expression changed, went totally blank. He put the nozzle back, got in his car, and drove off like nothing happened. I walked around the station, and behind it, where the dumpsters are, there was nothing except the smell. You ever smell burnt ozone? Like metal and rain and electricity all at once? It hit me like a wall. The hairs on my arms stood up. And in the middle of the gravel lot, this is burned into my brain, was a footprint, but not a shoe. It looked almost human, but longer, narrower, and deep, like something heavy had stepped there. And the gravel was melted where the toes were, like it had heat where feet should be. I went to grab my phone. The screen flickered. Camera wouldn't open. When I finally got it working, the footprint was gone. No trace, no smell, nothing. I asked the cashier if she saw anything weird. She just smiled like I asked her if the coffee was fresh. No, sweetie, not today. There was a pause. Then she added, "You should head out before the light changes again." Again? How did she know about the light? It's been 5 days. My phone still won't hold a charge. I keep waking up at 2:17 p.m. with nosebleeds. My Sprite bottle from that day, still full. The cap won't open. It's like time hiccuped. Like the world paused and something got out. Broad daylight, no clouds to hide it, no darkness to blame, and no one believes me.
Story number 12 from user Late Night Sabotage. Something came into our campsite last night. I don't think it was human.
This happened last night. My buddy Mark and I go camping a few times a year, usually pretty deep in the woods to get away from everything. We consider ourselves experienced campers. Nothing has ever freaked us out this badly. We had set up camp near a creek, a good ways off any marked trails. Had a nice fire going, told some stories, and eventually crashed in our tents around midnight. I woke up sometime later, not sure exactly when, but the fire had died down to embers, and the woods were that deep, silent kind of dark that swallows all sound. I had to pee, so I carefully unzipped my tent. As soon as I sat up, I felt it. That same awful feeling of being watched, but amplified tenfold. It felt like every animal in the forest had its eyes on me, but it was colder, more intelligent than that. I grabbed my flashlight, trying to be quiet. As I stepped out of the tent, the beam caught something at the edge of our campsite, near the tree line. It was tall, impossibly tall, maybe 8 feet or more. It was thin, like a stick figure, and completely black, absorbing what little starlight there was. I couldn't make out any features, no face, no discernible limbs at first. It just stood there, utterly still, like a shadow that had taken human form. Then it moved, slowly, deliberately. One long, spindly arm raised, and I saw what looked like incredibly long, thin fingers. It didn't make a sound. My blood ran cold. This wasn't a bear. This wasn't a deer. This was wrong. I tried to yell for Mark, but my throat was constricted with fear. I fumbled for the bear spray we kept near the tent entrance, my hands shaking so badly I could barely grip it. Then a light appeared above the trees. Not a flashlight, not a lantern. It was a soft, pulsating blue glow, completely silent. It illuminated the edge of the clearing, and I could see the thing more clearly. Its head was large and oddly shaped, tilted slightly as if it was observing us. Mark stirred in his tent. I finally managed a choked whisper. Mark, wake up. He mumbled something incoherent. The blue light began to descend slowly, silently. The tall black figure didn't move, but I felt like it was aware of the light, of everything. Panic seized me. I grabbed the bear spray and pointed it in the direction of the figure. My hand was trembling so violently I wasn't sure I could even aim. Just as the blue light reached the top of the trees and I was about to empty the bear spray, both the light and the figure vanished. Not quickly, not flying away. They just weren't there anymore, like someone had flicked a switch. The silence that followed was deafening. Mark was fully awake now, asking what was going on. I could barely stammer out what I had seen. He grabbed his own flashlight and we scanned the woods, our beams shaking. There was nothing. No tracks, no sign that anything had been there. We didn't sleep the rest of the night. We kept the dying embers stoked and sat huddled together, listening to every snap and rustle in the woods. We hiked out at first light, not saying a word. I know this sounds insane, but I swear to God, something was in our campsite last night. Something tall, black, and silent. And there was that light. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't natural. I don't think I'll ever camp in the woods again. TLDR. Woke up while camping in Allegheny National Forest to see a tall, black, spindly figure standing silently at the edge of our campsite as a silent, pulsating blue light descended through the trees. Both vanished suddenly.
Story number 13 from user Altitude Anomaly. Something was flying next to our plane, and it wasn't on the radar.
I never thought I'd post on here, but something happened on my flight last week that's been chewing at my brain like a rat in the walls. I was flying from Denver to Seattle, standard commercial flight, midday. Nothing unusual. Middle seat, headphones in, trying to pretend the guy in the window seat didn't exist, until he tapped me and said, "You're gonna want to see this." I looked past him, and my stomach dropped. There was something flying alongside us. Not a plane, not a bird, not anything I've seen before. It was this black, angular shape. No wings, no exhaust, just gliding silently about 100 yards off our left wing. It looked wrong. Not aerodynamically, just geometrically. Like it was made of shapes that didn't want to exist together. Parts of it bent light, like a shimmer off hot asphalt, except it was daylight and we were at 35,000 feet. It kept pace with us, matching our speed perfectly, even banking when we banked. I tried to film it. My phone screen just showed static, like full 1990s TV snow. I even tried taking a picture, but the camera app crashed, twice. I wasn't the only one who saw it. At least 6 other people on the left side were staring, whispering, pointing. One guy stood up and yelled, "What the hell is that?" A flight attendant rushed over, looked out the window, went completely white, then told him to sit down immediately. Here's where it gets really weird. About 5 minutes later, the object tilted, not turned, tilted, like a rotating Rubik's Cube, and in a blink, it was gone. No sonic boom, no fade out, just not there anymore. The captain came on shortly after and said we were experiencing minor turbulence. We weren't, and asked that passengers refrain from using electronic devices until further notice, which again is not a thing. When we landed, I hung back and asked the flight attendant what she saw. She said, and I quote, "We are not trained to explain what doesn't officially exist. Have a nice evening." I checked flight radar tracking when I got home. Our flight path was listed. Altitude, speed, all normal. But from 2:14 p.m. to 2:19 p.m., our flight disappeared from the public log. Just gap. Like those 5 minutes didn't happen. And guess what time I took the photo that wouldn't save? 2:17 p.m. I still have the picture in my gallery, just a black screen. But when I turn up the brightness, there's something. A faint outline, almost like a face or a mask. I haven't flown since, and I don't think I ever will again. Something was up there with us, and it wasn't from here.
Let me tell you a story.
And that was 13 UFO sightings from people who insist they weren't just tired, drunk, or misidentifying Venus. Some of these can probably be chalked up to aircraft, satellites, drones, or our brains trying to make sense of lights in a dark sky. But a few of them, the ones that move against the wind, change direction instantly, or disappear like someone flipped a switch, those don't fit as neatly into the "nothing to see here" box. Maybe these stories are proof we're being watched. Maybe they're proof we really, really want to believe we're being watched. Either way, the sky feels a little different once you've heard them, doesn't it? If you've ever seen something up there you couldn't explain, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who swears flying saucers aren't real, but still glances up when they're alone outside at night. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes on the sky, and if something's looking back, try not to make eye contact.